Welcome back to the multiverse. This episode is a bit of a divergence from us. We're not talking as much about comics, though we do a little. This one is about the completely inept Texas comic book heist. Apparently, a number of people, maybe one guy, who knows, attempted to break into 7 comic book shops in a single weekend here in the North Texas area. So this is our story, laying out what happened in our world, how we found it, and then ultimately what we know so far. Bottom line, if you're going to break into a place, don't break into places where everybody thinks they're Batman.
We're going to pull back the veil a little bit here back at the shop and let everyone know the human beings that are here. So initially,
This is why we need to drink.
yes, this is. So you're sitting at this table between the three of us is probably 80 years worth of management experience in different fields.
Yes.
One form or another, different positions. Kids, we try to get together and do this sometimes off hours at the shop once it's closed, sometimes while the store is opened, and that's a circus that we're probably not going to repeat. We're a week behind because last Sunday, February, this is the 25th today, so the week before that, guys, whatever that is. If we hadn't been drinking for an hour, I'd look at my phone and tell you. But
February
24th, pardon me. So a week back, Sunday morning, I arrived at the shop first to bring stuff in and set it up and come into the store, and I shut the door, and I'm putting down cases with the podcasting equipment, and I start hearing cracking and stuff. And so, of course, I'm an old man, so I look at my knees going, man, did I hurt myself? What's wrong? Then I turned around. Our store had been the victim of form of vandalism. Someone shot out one of the 8-foot panes of glass windows that hadn't fallen, and then pumped 4 more BBs into adjacent windows.
I think we decided to say bullets
Bullets
from now
well,
on.
which
These are
it
bullets.
sounds-
We did, but
much like the JFK bullets, we haven't found all, but we've only found all but one of them. But that's the backup feature in Department of Truth, kids. If y'all want to go for that image,
It's a very good
Sounds
book,
way
actually.
better
Yeah,
say
it
bullets.
does.
it does.
It does. But initially, we thought that we were the victims of random vandalism.
An
Now,
isolated incident.
And also, no one was hurt. No
Right.
one made entry into the store. Nothing was missing. At the end of the day, if you're a retailer, it's an annoyance more than a tragedy. It took us off our game for podcasting,
Yes.
and trying to find a 24-hour board up for glass is not in. It was in my wheelhouse because I used to work at a rent-to-own place, and we got shot up all the time, so I knew how to find something.
That sounds right.
That was. But
So
the nice thing about that,
unoriginal
nice thing about that is you could return fire. It was actually encouraged, but that's a whole nother
That's
podcast.
So Scott has a jacket from this place that he still wears in the wintertime. And this jacket, it has a pocket in the back for him to put a steel plate that's bulletproof. And then he's got a spot where he was shot. Like he was shot in the steel plate. And he still wears this jacket with the bullet hole.
It keeps you humble. It keeps you humble. It lets you, the fact that I had to design the jackets where you can unzip it and drop plates in. Rent-to-own's not for everyone, kids. But I digress. So as we're telling this story,
Sorry.
the police come out and they do it in Heist, Texas, which is the police did a fine job, responded really quick. They weren't doing anything at 9:15 on Sunday. By the time Mr. St. James got to the store, the cops were here too, and I was
Yep.
like, I expect you'd be here.
That cop has a great name, too.
And Jason lives a little further out, so he was en route, cussing all the way, because I got to call him and tell him what was going on. But then we come to the day before and several days after, several of our brethren shops,
Comic book shops.
comic shops, were the victims of some form of vandalism, some as simple as trying to smear fruit on a door, which that was Y2K. To the final, the final shop.
I guess that's number 6 then. I knew of 5, but Y2K wasn't in my list.
Yeah, Y2K and Wild West.
Wild West got
Someone tried to
hit,
pry.
too.
Someone tried to pry their technique seemed to advance. So you can almost figure out they started off a trail lake in Fort Worth, made an arc
Right.
over a couple of days, and then ended with our brothers over at Collected, because that's the only store
They got
in Haltom
into.
City that's another suburb here. Long time comic book shop guys, even longer than us. They actually physically got into their store and made off some graded books. So as the three of us are, because all of us want to be Batman, so we're all detectives. We're all trying to put this together, and it goes from a random acts of violence or vandalism, to more of a coordinated. I like Stephen's golden eye quote, please.
Goldfinger.
Gold.
I don't know if this was in the movie, but it's definitely in the book. So Goldfinger, Auric Goldfinger, has this, I don't know what you would call it, philosophy maybe, or
Ops manual?
Perhaps.
Employee handbook?
It's the thing in his mind that he uses when he's assessing a situation. And it's very simple. Something happens. The first time is happenstance. If it happens again, the second time is coincidence. And if it happens a third time, it's enemy action. And that is the way that Fleming wrote it out. Happenstance, coincidence, enemy action. To apply that to this situation, so we, on Sunday, we're in happenstance. Okay, so you think, kids, and you make a bit of a joke about it. We've got there's a comic series for Transformers. We've got a poster in the window, and it's got Optimus Prime on it, but it's a two-sided poster. On the other side is
Scream, the Decepticons.
Decepticons. I was going to say thank you. Megatron, thank you.
Fine.
The guy who turns into a gun. And make a joke, I guess maybe we should have put the Decepticons on the outside.
In irony, Brent made a crack to Jason when Jason said, "Hey, someone shot out a window." Brent put the Decepticon box
Didn't he?
up.
Right.
They did that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'll
Sorry.
teach him.
Yeah, sorry, brother. I didn't have the heart to put Optimus Prime in your feed when you showed me your glass was all shot up or broken through from the
Absolutely.
door.
No, theirs was. They think they did use like one of those little things you use to bust out your car window if you're trapped.
Okay.
They think they sort of had passed shooting, BBs at the thing or whatever.
Right.
Bullets.
Bullets.
Shooting bullets at the
In
glass.
quotes,
Yeah.
it's a projectile.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
It could get under the skin and cause very nasty infection. And if
A
you
deadly weapon.
and if
All
you
that
catch the movie reference, give yourself a no
And
prize.
all that would have done if I was here would piss me off. Shoot me right. All right,
Don't tempt people to do that, Scott. Not with your life.
Gonna quote my father used to say one time, and made everyone stop in the room, and I took it with me to the rent-to-own business as well. So if you're not going to kill me, don't waste my time. That makes everyone stop. Or
But yeah, so all of a sudden we're happenstance, and then we hear about
Comic
Warriors, and then it's probably a coincidence. I mean that, but then as the days go on, it's we're all trying to be Batman. It's very easy, I think, to try and find a connection between the two, because that's what we do. We're all very imaginative people because we live and breathe imaginative stuff. You've still been a hard sell on that though, because you're like, I just don't see that this maybe is an organized thing. But now I think you're on board with yeah.
I also can do math. So 9 people generating the same idea
I almost sprayed coffee all over the microphone.
Separately, and going out individually to tag their favorite store doesn't work for me.
Right.
Also, trying to get 2 people to agree on where to eat is difficult as well.
Yes.
So, as the list grew, what I was having problems reconciling with was a comic collector so hell-bent on getting that copy of Ultimate Spider-Man #1 that they didn't sub at their local comic book store because they just thought they'd grab it, and shame on you if that is the case, because it's just very easy and it's usually free. Going around and
By the way, if you'd like to sign up for a subscription at the
Yeah.
Multiverse, you can do that at www.multiverse.shop.
Yeah.
Just a shameless plug. I
Oh,
thought
that
I'd
was
drop
a
it in
shameless
there.
plug.
It was
That's right.
Yeah.
It's good segue in. The idea of Stephen to go to other shops and shop around a little bit and
Of course.
do all of that. And in our travels and in our many discussions in the car, not once have I looked at him and said, I really want to knock that window out and see if I can get in after hours and swipe that Deadpool squirrel Funko Pop that's on the wall. Not because I don't have my own money. There's times I'm broke going shopping just because I enjoy the experience. Also, professional criminals that are looking for the big score like in Ocean's 11 are not going to target your local comic book shop. So I had a hard time trying to find the theory that suited, because once again, I have not gone and broken into shops looking for stuff. My vandalism days when I was a kid involved making little clay Mr. Bills and putting them in the street with firecrackers until cars came up. And we saw that from Saturday Night Live. That's before TikTok kids and the internet. We never got caught for that. But and the idea that I can't think like a criminal, but I can think like a cop. Plenty in the family, went to school for it, and was trying to dissect. Mr. St. James was, I think, having some fun watching me try to dissect what was going on because it bothered me.
Yeah.
Not that you shot out the window. Jackass can do that. Hope you're listening.
It was super annoying, though.
It is super
It's annoying.
annoying,
And it's expensive.
There's a cost.
There's a cost to the store.
Yeah.
It's just a generally frustrating thing. And it looks crappy right now. I hate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you went, Stephen, you went back to work and was recounting at your day job. And I'm not saying that I thought I saw a BB hole up here on a stone and went to my mother's house and took a BB out of the gun case and came up here and tried to test fit it to see if it, and then walk the complex and then walk the
BB
complex
ballistics.
and find that there were other
Perfect.
holes that was that, so I knew it wasn't a BB. I'm not saying I did any of that.
No.
Hope my family's not listening because they know I'm lying through my teeth.
Well, I just want to know, you keep the BBs in the gun case. So
Oh, my father has a gun case with a lot of his hunting rifles. They're still, wrapped up and ready to go. But when he was teaching me to shoot, he purposely put a Bushnell scope on my BB gun because he was very much like, you're gonna learn it.
Yeah.
You're gonna learn how to shoot, and you're gonna understand distance and all of that. He goes,
Sure.
yeah, this is overkill. The scope was worth 4 times what the Daisy pump action BB gun was. It wasn't
Shoot your eye
it
out.
wasn't one of those crap Red Ryder things you saw in Christmas Story. By God, this one, I did shatter a couple of old abandoned car windows with this guy, and it would hold 100. So you could sit there and just Vietnam it up just like your dad. Stephen goes and tells the story to one of our
Yeah.
first-
So one of the people at my work, and I showed her the photograph of the holes in the glass, and I was recounting what had happened, and she's listening, and she said, I can't quote her, but her assessment was, she said, that was probably a meth head, just looking for a quick, easy break, grab, something I can sell, and that's it.
Yeah.
She very well may be right, because that's the thing, is that because there's several comic book shops have been vandalized, and one of them they've managed to go all the way to actually break in. And again, it goes back to, Scott, what you were just saying about, if these are professional criminals, first off, they suck. And second of all, they cannot be professionals, because why would you knock over a comic book? Really? If you're going to break in anywhere, go hit a jewelers or a high-end electronic stuff that you can fence easily.
Yeah.
Comics, not so much, for a reason that we'll get into in just a moment. But she was like, no, that sounds to me like just drug addicts and looking for opportunity, which I hadn't really considered. But the more I think about it, maybe that is the case. I don't know. Stupid people will do stupid things, and especially if they're under the influence. But here's the thing about why knocking over a comic book store isn't the wisest idea, is we are in a community. Comic book shop owners speak to other comic book stores.
We all know each other.
Exactly. Jason goes and has his dinner with the 5 families from time to time.
Yes, the Nerd Illuminati.
Exactly.
We do it on a regular basis.
That's right. And you talk. And when a comic book store experiences theft like this, what do? They'll say, we got robbed. Sometimes you'll have a photo, Bleeding Cool, the Rich Johnson one. He posts articles all the time because then you'll have the list, because it's important for comic book stores to know when something like this has happened, in case some idiot comes in with the books that he stole from another store trying to sell them.
Yeah. You know what we should do? We should get our comic press people this story.
You should.
Because I think it's fascinating.
It is.
We've had this many break-ins. Like, we didn't list everybody that was broken in. Like, we were here at the Multiverse.
Yeah.
Collected.
Yeah.
Got hit. Comic Warriors.
Yeah.
No one of theirs got hit.
Galaxy Games.
Yeah. Galactic Games.
Galactic
with a Z
Games.
at the end.
Okay.
And then apparently Y2K and Wild West. That's 7.
Yeah.
That's 7 different shops
That we know of.
in one weekend. I think it
went from Friday to like Monday.
Yeah.
It didn't happen all in the same, because Brent and them were broken in last, and that was after us.
Yeah,
Right.
I think it was the next day that they got hit, because Brent and I had an exchange on Facebook along the way, and there's actually a store owners kind of group, like a local store owners group that we all, it's mainly used for, hey, the diamond truck is late again, that kind of thing.
Right.
Not that anybody goes and picks up diamond anymore, because what's the point of that? But that's what we used to use it for. At least.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you've got that list, then it's any comic book shop in the Metroplex to, keep an eye on that, because we do it. People come in the shop all the time. Hey, you guys buy comic books? Yeah, sure. Let's take a look and see what you got. If somebody came in here with those books, it would be the simplest thing in the world. Oh, yeah, that's good. Here, just hold on a second. I'm going to call the store owner.
911.
Call the police. 911. Yeah, I think I've got somebody here. Because the other thing is you could put them up on eBay, but as was put in that Facebook thread for Collected, do you have eBay alerts set up? Oh, yeah, he's doing that. Because if somebody goes on eBay and tries to sell that particular combination of comics, it's okay. I think we know who did it.
Well, here's the thing. We all have thousands of followers on Facebook. Like, our Facebook is, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000, and we don't even use it that often, right? The shops, like Brent's, really active on socials. I'm sure they've got an even bigger following than we do out there. And every single one of those people thinks they're Batman. Literally everyone.
Of course.
So when we post, this is what was stolen from my store, guess what every Batman out there does? They're on Go Collect and on they're on, what's that?
Whatnot?
What's up?
Whatnot. Yeah, they're on Whatnot. They're on all the things, trying to figure out who jacked your stuff.
That's
And
it.
What's funny to me, and that's why the meth head, crackhead, whatever idiots did this, are operating under the mystique that every wall book is going to buy them a house.
Right, yeah.
Not understanding that if I'm selling the book for $100 and I'm going to go carry it into Stephen St. James comic book shop,
Right.
he's not going to give me $100.
No.
The pawn shop sure isn't going to give you squat.
No.
And if you're trying to take that to your dealer and explain to, now maybe your dealer's an idiot, and I watch Breaking Bad, a lot of those guys weren't that smart. Might be able to pass it off, but it quickly, and once again, your sidekick Lily, who is much wise, and many times if you've told me stories, she's much wiser than her years allow.
Yes.
Nailed it on the head. While this was a organized effort of let's go hit these comic shops, are now sports card shops. I mean, the chances of that sports card shop having Mickey Mantlin, pretty slim, and I look forward to seeing you on the news when you try to sell that one.
Right.
Comic book acquainted,
Right.
someone trying to get into the store, carry off X-Men number 4 or whatever, and they're all excited about it. But that really, a retired police officer, a friend of the store, once reminded me that these crimes are not committed by the kingpins of
No.
of the world, and that most of the time these plans are not well thought out, and
No.
they are the big chair schools and the kids in the school that sit in the back a lot. That
Well, there's
there's some wisdom to that.
There's some other scenarios though.
There could be.
I think there's the gamer like the grumpy gamer scenario.
Right.
Like somebody gets disciplined or gets in trouble and, they're banned from a store. That happens
Yes.
It does.
a
but
lot.
I think they'd be more murder.
The thing that struck me at the time was looking around to see if we could find the BBs on the ground, and we couldn't. Did somebody retrieve these? Was
They
this a
picked up their-
professional hit?
What did it self-destruct? Did they melt on?
Oh my gosh.
And it grew legs and crawled out the hole.
It was made of ice
It
and
was.
it
It
melted.
melted.
It's a
That's
locked
it.
room mystery.
Yeah, Dwight-
But there's another
Dwight
option.
Schrute.
Dwight Schrute. But there's another option here, which in my mind has to be the most ridiculous, which means it could very well be the one, is that, it could be a disgruntled customer, but it could also be someone who is, I really need that book.
Yeah.
I need it for my collection.
Mhm.
And because I need it for my collection, I'm going to be willing to commit
The
a
math-
major crime.
The math works.
It
for
does.
that,
Because I
it's-
saw the
it's slim,
list.
yeah.
I saw the list of what was stolen, and nothing there. Oh, yeah, that's a book to get your hands on.
But maybe that was someone's first comic. We've talked about how special those are.
Yeah, no, that's very true. That's very true. I mean, if they had a slabbed 9.8 copy of Marvel Team Up when it's Spider-Man and I could be tempted, but I wouldn't actually go through it.
But would you break into like 6 other stores before you stopped at the one that had the slab you're looking for?
Maybe it's because I couldn't remember which store had it.
Oh, you're
that is-
forgetful.
Yeah.
It's the drugs, man. It's
Yeah, once again, they only made entry, as far as we know, into one.
that's
I
right.
mean, unless there could be scenarios where there are smaller stores that we are unaware of. They're not
Could
part
be.
of our little group.
Or maybe this was this is the multiple Oswalds thing. It was always going to be collected.
There's 3 Jokers.
There's 3 Jokers. That's
Jokers.
it. But if we hit a bunch of others, then they'll think that this is random. When actually, that was the target. That was the mission all along.
Or we're the first one that we know of. What if they just wanted to shoot up our store? What if they were just real pissed at us for
And
something?
there is a chance of that.
That
you
is
know?
true. That is true.
If only I knew somebody that was just pissed at us and then thought Collected owed them something.
I mean,
The big book of the moment seems to be Ultimate Spider-Man, and if we didn't have enough copies, which we didn't,
even in Australia, my friend.
that is very true. I was chatting with somebody who commented that I think the second printing of issue 1, this comic shop in Australia's I think got it on the shelf for $150.
I don't know if we even do we get our second printings?
That's an off mic conversation.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
because this is how it works in our shop. I brought my copy back to be sold because
Right,
we
right.
didn't have enough of the first issues. I've been waiting for the second prints to come.
There's a
There's a
third printing on the way as well.
Well, eventually I'm going to get whatever printing's not worth anything. I'm fine with that because I'll sell these to. I'd rather sell comics than keep comics, but still,
Yeah, but again, but that's
that FOMO.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, but it's this thing like
Let's go shoot up a
no, don't. We're not encouraging anyone to do that. Please don't do that.
don't do that.
Don't do that.
It makes you know what it is. I'd spend a Sunday up here waiting for the glass guy. By the way, the glass guys all stink. They're all terrible. The glass guy finally gets here. It took him forever to do the thing.
Garland.
Yeah, he came from Garland apparently, and they could have just told me when I called him, "Hey, we've got a guy in Garland." Then I could go, "Let me call the next person on the list." But they didn't do that. They said, "Right on, I'll dispatch someone right away." 4 hours later,
Yeah.
we get our guy. Anyway, wasted a Sunday, and I had to pay that guy, and that's annoying. Don't shoot up my shop anymore, please.
Yeah, that's
It's
it.
just annoying.
If we've done something to upset you, handle it in the appropriate, mature way. Go online or leave us a bad Yelp review or something.
Yes, do Yelp for sure, because nobody reads those anymore.
That's
or
right.
you know what? Even do what people who are real pissed at people do. File something in a court.
There you
That's
go.
what people do.
That's right.
People, if you really have beef,
Go legal.
go legal. Go to the court. If you're super upset that we didn't hold a copy for you that you didn't pre-order, by the way, by going to multiverse.shop of Ultimate Spider-Man, then you're out of luck. When Ultimate Black Panther came out,
Yeah.
John, because everything was super hot, there were some people that he was like, "Oh, these people are going to really want it," and they didn't order it. He dropped it in their boxes. Isn't that nice of him?
Nice.
That's the right thing to do.
Very nice.
It is.
Very nice.
Yeah.
We
Very
take care of our customers.
Take care of those who take care of
Apparently.
us.
That's right.
Apparently.
Absolutely.
Apparently, except for the guy that shot the place up.
Well,
And
but
they were upset.
It's okay. And we were joking about it because you got to have a sense of humor about things. If you're working in comic book stores, you really need to have a sense of humor. But a situation like this, absolutely. We're making jokes about this. It's a Sicilian message. But here's the thing: any kind of response like this, it's anonymous and it's non-specific. If it turned out that this was a reaction to this was, what do they call it? An expression of dissatisfaction. I think it's what they call it.
That's a good term.
Yeah,
I
exactly. We have no idea what we did or what we didn't do, or how we upset you or what, and that gives us absolutely zero way of trying to make it right. Got to give somebody a chance to make it right, and I know the crew here. We would have tried to make it right. So hopefully that wasn't it, because if this was, then, man, you're out of luck. You've done nothing. It's cowardly. There you go. But if it was because, for example, you wanted a copy of Ultimate Spider-Man and you didn't get one, okay, next time, sub it. But second of all, there are other printings. Let us know. We could have gotten you one. I don't know.
Even now, because you didn't break into our place, you didn't get what you were looking for. If you still want us to hold something, feel free to come and let us know.
Yeah, just don't let us know that you were the stupid Burke who shot the window.
No.
We're going to charge you a lot of money for that book.
No, just say, hey, sorry, I shot the place up. I couldn't find what I was looking for. Remember, they're not real smart. Couldn't find what we were looking for. We
Hey, I was the guy who shot at your windows. I was going to break in, but then I realized this wasn't the store that had that Alf comic slabbed that I really wanted, or whatever the book was that books that got stolen. That Bill and Ted Marvel book that came out, and then I remembered, it's collected, so I'm going to go and hit them instead. But it's again, this is why I have to, part of me, and again, this goes back to something we were saying off mic, is that I remember reading somewhere about Brian Michael Bendis was commenting about how can somebody be a Captain America fan or claim that they are a Captain America fan and yet espouse the most hateful, nasty, prejudiced. Yeah, exactly. And it's why I need to believe that this was something that happened by somebody who actually could absolutely care less. But the fact that books were stolen, it's okay. So you know enough maybe to apply a value. You're not a fan of this stuff. I really hope not. I don't know. I'm rambling.
My original theory was that it was like having the posters up. I just thought they were good targets. Like if you're out there with your BB gun just shooting at stuff, I just thought, oh, that's a fun target. You can shoot at Spider-Man. Clearly, Spidey was a little too agile. Like Spidey got out of the way.
That's right.
And he never got hit. The Transformers.
It's a bit clunky.
Yeah, they can't get out of the way. They got hit. So
Optimus Prime isn't known for his, deft agility.
Yeah, he's not the agile.
He's no
one.
Nightcrawler.
Unless it's a Michael Bay movie. Because Optimus.
Oh yeah, he's got that role. He's got that whole thing. I kind of dug those movies. Nobody else liked them either.
It's eye candy. To summarize tonight's episode, boys and girls, don't do drugs. Don't shoot up your local comic book store. And if I'm saying this correctly, if you're going to try and kill Scott, do it right, or don't waste his time.
Or, you know what? If you shoot up your local comic shop, you don't want to shoot up Scott.
That's actually probably a better, you don't do that.
Yeah, that'll go badly for everybody.
Absolutely.
And there we go, kids.
All right. So, can we talk about the Ultimate Universe in the next one?
Yes.
Let's do that. All right, here we go. Thank you for joining the Multiverse Podcast. If you'd like to join us in person, you can do that at the Multiverse in Hearst, Texas. You can look for us online at www.multiverse.shop. If you have never subscribed, you really should. We do this cast as often as we possibly can. We try to do it once a week if we can pull it off. All right. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.